Shopping for an engagement ring often feels like a high-pressure balancing act. You want maximum aesthetic impact within strict financial limits. If you choose a natural emerald, you quickly encounter a massive price wall. Depending on quality, a single carat can cost from $2,000 to $25,000. In contrast, lab-grown emeralds have entered the market at a fraction of that cost, typically priced between $50 and $100 per carat. When you compare these two rings side by side, the visual difference is 0%. However, because one stone was mined and the other was grown, the price difference is 1,000%. This creates a significant dilemma for any buyer. Does the massive markup for a natural stone provide a physical advantage, or are you paying for a geological backstory? The most common hesitation with lab-grown stones is the fear that they are fake, nothing more than cheap glass or cubic zirconia. To find the truth, we must turn away from assumptions and look directly at the objective gemological data. Under a gemologist's loupe, a high-quality lab stone is visually indistinguishable from a natural one in both color and light reflection. Scientific testing confirms identical chemical makeup. Both contain the exact same chromium coloring. They share the same durability, measuring 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs scale. Finally, they interact with light identically, sharing the same refractive index. Because these stones are chemically and structurally real emeralds, the price gap for natural stones relies on the perceived value of rarity and origin rather than any physical difference in the gem itself. The high price of natural emeralds is largely tied to their history, forming over millions of years deep within the earth. However, the cost is also driven by an origin premium. This is a markup based on where the stone was mined, regardless of how it actually looks. For example, a natural Colombian emerald often costs 20 to 30% more than a Zambian stone of the same quality. You are paying a premium for geographic prestige, not for a more beautiful gem. Lab-grown stones remove geography from the equation. By replicating the Earth's heat and pressure in a controlled hydrothermal environment, the origin markup is eliminated. There is also a performance advantage. Because they are grown in a lab, these emeralds typically have 40 to 60% fewer internal inclusions, which improves both their clarity and their structural integrity. This suggests that the premium for a natural stone is an investment in a narrative of rarity, rather than a purchase of superior physical quality. To see the practical impact on your wallet, let's compare how a $1,500 budget works for both types of stones. If you choose the natural path, the high cost per carat forces a major compromise. You will likely be limited to a very small stone, between 0.3 and 0.5 carats. This also leaves very little money for the ring itself. To stay on budget, you're forced into a simple, minimal setting that might not offer much protection for the stone. On the lab-grown path, a 1.5 carat emerald costs about $150. This leaves over $1,300 for an elaborate setting. For natural stones, the emerald consumes 95% of your funds. You're left with almost no budget for accent diamonds or craftsmanship. Trying to buy a natural emerald on a moderate budget guarantees you will sacrifice both the visual size of the gem and the quality of the ring it sits in. Durability is a critical factor. Emeralds require Type 3 protection to prevent the stone from chipping or wearing down over time. A bezel setting provides the best defense. Unlike exposed prongs, a bezel uses a continuous metal rim to fully enclose the emerald's edge. This protection adds to the cost. Labor for a secure bezel or intricate halo can range from $400 to $800. Many retailers combine these labor costs with the stone price into one total. This makes it difficult to see how much you are paying for the actual materials versus the jeweler's markup. To get the best value, you should demand an itemized breakdown that separates the cost per carat of the stone from the specific labor hours spent on the setting. You can also save by choosing 14-karat gold. It's durable enough for daily wear, saving hundreds compared to 18-karat gold or platinum. True budget optimization requires looking past the total price to see exactly how much you invest in the gem versus its protective frame. Your budget directly determines the aesthetic possibilities for your ring. We can break these down into 3 clear tiers. Under $500, secure a 0.5 to 0.8 carat lab-grown solitaire in 14-karat gold. Between $500 and $1,500, step up to a 1.5 carat lab-grown stone and add complex details like diamond halos. In the $3,000 range, you have a choice: a massive, highly elaborate lab-grown ring or a smaller, naturally mined Zambian solitaire. This shows that lab-grown stones make high-impact designs accessible to buyers who were previously priced out of the market by natural emerald costs. Choosing the right path comes down to your primary goal for the ring. If your budget is under $1,500, or if the size of the stone and the complexity of the setting are your main priorities, then lab-grown is the objective choice. You get the same physical durability and better clarity for a fraction of the cost. However, if your budget allows for it and the romantic narrative of a stone formed by the earth is essential, then a natural emerald is the way to go. If you choose natural, remember to look for Zambian stones to avoid paying for the Colombian origin name without a physical difference in quality. A stunning emerald ring doesn't have to be a financial burden. By understanding the science and demanding transparency, you can choose the best trade-offs.